Welcome to Carrying On with TravelSMG. I'm Stephanie McCracken with Travel Show Marketing Group, joined by my co-host Kelley Wright, one of our travel agent relation managers. The goal of this podcast is to take you beyond the forum and give you an insider look into our events in the travel industry as a whole. Today, Kelley is chatting with Tanya Carlson of Travel Alaska, Bill Wright of Explore Fairbanks, and Jay Islam of Grand Travel and Cruise, all about the Amazing Alaska Experience Fairbanks from this March. Kelley, thanks so much for sitting down with these guys today. Tell me a little bit more about the Amazing Alaska Experience in Fairbanks.
Oh my God, it was such a great event. We had an amazing time with all three of those people, with Jay being a travel agent that attended the event, with Tanya and Bill really doing so much for the event and making sure that it happened from, we had so many different things going on while we were there, one-to-one meetings, different travel agent educational sessions, as well as there was pre and post fam, and then lots of networking that happened in the evenings and during lunchtime. So it was just great to be able to have them assist in putting all that together with us and making sure that the event was really incredible and as amazing as it could be.
Tell me a little bit more about one-to-one meetings. I always kind of describe them as kind of the backbone to some of our events. So just give everybody a little bit insight of what those are and what they mean.
I think that the best way to explain them is speed dating, right? So you are finding out who the suppliers are ahead of time. The suppliers are getting details about the agents ahead of time. So you're able to figure out questions that you want to ask and things like that. And the one a little bit different with this one than our other events is that you're going to meet with all of the suppliers while you're there. So all of the agents met with every single supplier. So they just went in order rather than having to go from one point of the room to another. So it was a nice flow. They were able to go from each supplier, ask questions, but there was also some other different things that happened while they were there. So these suppliers, some of them had, one of them did gold panning while they were there. So they kind of thought outside the box and had more interactive stations at some of them also, which was a lot of fun. But it's a wonderful way for the agents to find out how they can work with the suppliers in the future.
And one of the things we talk about with our ADEs is how they're kind of more of an immersive experience. So what were some of the things, either as part of the FAMs or as part of the event as a whole, that kind of immersed you in the culture and in Fairbanks as a whole?
Oh my God, there were so many things. Obviously, I get so excited about this stuff, but all of the agents had the option to choose on a pick your adventure day, right? So they could either go to Denali or go ice fishing or go to the hot springs. So there was options of things that they could choose to do, and everybody got to do kind of what they wanted. But the great part about that is that they were also able to share their experiences with each other. So if someone got to go to the hot springs and they were sharing their pictures online and everything with that and with each other in our app. So that was a great way for them to be able to kind of see what all the other things included. I personally got to go ice fishing, which was so much fun. And it was kind of, I guess, in my mind, a little way to cheat going ice fishing, because we were inside a wonderful cabin, had heat and everything in there. We didn't even need our jackets. I got all bundled up for the day and it was so not necessary. It was pretty funny. And there was the guides there to help us with the fishing and everything and make sure that everybody caught stuff. I won't say how many I caught, but a lot of the agents caught a lot of fish.
That's great to hear.
And then they came in afterwards and cooked it for us. So it was great to be able to experience that from the end to end and kind of see what would happen for our clients going forward. In addition to that, as far as what else was included and how it was immersive was, separate from the fact that we got to do those great adventures, also everybody had the opportunity to do either a pre or a post fam. So with the pre or the post fam, they got to do so many different things. It was awesome. And I actually got to take part in some of the pre-fam stuff, and I went dog sledding and they also, what else did I do? I'm trying to think. We also
I saw some videos of you curling. Was curling part of that?
Yeah. That was part of the Pick Your Adventure Day, actually.
Oh,
so our
okay,
Pick
gotcha.
Your Adventure Day with ice fishing was curling, ice fishing. We stopped at a brewery type of place and did a couple other things. So that was pretty cool because it wasn't just that one ice fishing part of it. And we also stopped at a really great store that they had there. And the person from the store was actually also part of the one-to-one meetings. So it was cool to see the store after, visiting and talking to her during those meetings.
Excellent. And of course, you can always learn more about our amazing destination experiences at our website, amazingdestinationexperience.com, or at our main website, TravelSMG.com. And I am looking forward to hearing more about Fairbanks in this episode. So thanks, Kelley.
Thanks for chatting with me today, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I mean, thank you, and 100% thank you for letting us come to Alaska and visit you guys.
Always.
But you know how much I love that. Bill, what's the feedback that you've been hearing so far from the suppliers that came to the event?
Oh, well, first off, it was a fantastic event and such a great partnership with Travel Show Marketing Group and ATIA. What stood out to me was how intentional the experience was. We weren't just showcasing Alaska, we were putting advisors directly into it. From our Fairbanks perspective, it gave us the opportunity to really expand the conversation beyond cruise and show what a deeper Alaska experience looks like. And when advisors can see it, feel it, and connect directly with our partners, that's when it really starts to translate into how they sell the destination. But the feedback was overwhelmingly positive, especially around the one-to-one meetings. That's where the real business happened. And our Fairbanks partners appreciated that these weren't just casual conversations. These were engaged advisors asking detailed, thoughtful questions. And a big win for us was hearing suppliers say, I can clearly see how this advisor would sell my product. It created efficiency, and it was a short amount of time, but our partners had multiple meaningful conversations instead of chasing leads over months. And importantly, these conversations moved beyond cruise. Like I said, advisors were genuinely interested in building out land experiences, which is exactly where Fairbanks fits.
Yeah, that's pretty great. That's amazing. I mean, I know that when we got back after seeing everything between the Facebook page that the advisors had and just emails and everything I had, people were already starting to reach out, already starting to buy some of the products that some of the suppliers there had. And it was just, there was just one connection after another being made, which I thought was great.
Yeah, even the partners that weren't at the event itself, like our familiarization tour partners, they're getting the great love on those Facebook posts and on the WhatsApp conversations. It's fun to see the advisors. Where was that restaurant we went to? I loved this one. Well, what was your favorite? And they're all still talking and chatting about it, which is great to see. I can only imagine that sometimes happens with other FAMs, but it's great to see it transparent and right in front for us to see on a regular basis. So kudos to Travel Show Marketing Group and ATIA for making this not only happen, but in the way that you make it happen. It's quite professional, and like I say, it does give us a chance to get inside the minds and see where the activities are going on a regular basis.
Absolutely. Tanya, so last year we did this year we did Fairbanks, last year we did Anchorage.
Cool.
I mean, from your perspective, what do you think about the two events? And now that we've got them both under our belt, what do you think the biggest takeaway is from them?
Absolutely. I think one of the biggest takeaways is just how impactful it is to bring Alaska to life in a focused kind of in-destination setting. Having 30 advisors come and experience Alaska firsthand. And we can be on the road trying to sell Alaska all year long, but nothing sells Alaska like being here. So being able to experience that firsthand, it, like Bill said, it allows these advisors to meet our suppliers one-on-one. Most of our suppliers in Alaska can't afford to go to the big shows in the lower 48. So having the advisors come to Alaska and meet them is just invaluable. It really gives them the opportunity to make those connections, learn how to work with travel advisors and why they're so important, and just gives them a clearer understanding, I think, of the entire industry as a whole.
Yeah, that's awesome. Being lucky enough to go to Anchorage last year and Fairbanks this year, they were both just such great experiences. And between the two, I don't even think I could tell you which one was my favorite because they just had different things to offer from both areas. And I mean, this time I got to see the Northern Lights. Last time I was not able to do that. That was incredible. Not even just once. I think 3 or 4 times we were out there at night, being able to see them, and just all of the things that we were able to do and that you guys make possible for the agents to do while they're there with you, plus getting so much education is just crazy. I know it's tiring for the agents, but it's just so amazing. What are you thinking for 2027? Are we going to be working together again?
I absolutely think we will. I don't want to say where, but we are planning on coming again, having you back again next year. And I already have 2 more destinations in Alaska who are lined up to host in the future as well. So I think getting this under our belt now for a couple of years and getting more and more partners involved, they're really seeing the value. And the other thing I was going to add, having all of our agents come in is also that they get to see that Alaska is not a bucket list destination. It's not one and done. It's such a big state. There's so much to see that you can do completely different itineraries time and time again and see something new and never repeat things. So there's just so much to do here. It's really great.
Oh, I definitely 100% agree with that one. There is so much to do. And I feel like, the advisors got to do so much when they're there. And it's just crazy that there's still like that much more that they could accomplish. Jay, what do you think about that? I mean, you got to do so many different things when you were there. What was your favorite thing to do, or what do you want to tell us about?
Thank you so much again for me to be here with you guys, with the Travel Show Marketing Group, Explore Alaska, and Explore Fairbanks and Travel Alaska. Well, I've been in the industry over 30 years. I've been to many trips, but these Alaska trips really hit me in a different way. I was just blown away how much Alaska has to offer in the winter. So many people only speaks of going to Alaska during summer. Oh no, don't go in the winter time. Even though it was 35 below while we were there in Fairbanks, I had the best time. The things that I have done, I would not be able to do it summertime, in my opinion. So for me, travel is not about just the destinations, right? It's about people, relationships, creating lifelong memories. I'm truly grateful to be part of this journey. When I was in Fairbanks and I was in front of the Northern Light, that's when it really hit me that how powerful this world, this nature, the beauty of the world is. And I have heard of Northern Light for so many years, and for me to experience it in Fairbanks the way I did, I will never forget that moment. That would be for me to realize that how lucky I am and how grateful I was to get invited to this. Other than everyone, Bill riding the van, taking us everywhere, all the restaurants, all the amazing areas, museum and stuff, and like him being the personal guide for us of the post fam. That's unheard of, So what I loved about the heart of the people in Alaska, from Tanya, from Bill, from everyone that we have met, they have really taken us to another level. The experience that I have gotten from this trip, I will never forget, bar none.
I totally agree with that. I totally agree with that, especially as far as like Bill and his team and how much they went out of their way and how much they put their own lives like aside for that time to be able to make sure that everything was perfect for us, especially when that weather was negative 45 degrees, because that was the temperature when I got off the plane. And when it was that temperature and you couldn't do some of the things and you guys had to go and change things up and all of that, that to me was shows how much you guys really cared, because you could have been like, oh, too bad, can't do this today, we're gonna stay inside and watch TV instead. You did it. Made sure it happened.
Yeah. No, this wasn't just an event, in my opinion. It was a true immersion. We didn't just see Alaska. We felt Alaska, And Alaska in winter is a hidden gem. And seeing the northern light was the moment it all checked all the boxes for me. So winter is my goal right now is not only tell people to go to Alaska, but encourage them, entice them to go to Alaska in winter times. That's the biggest takeaway from me, because all I saw Alaska is summertime, summertime, summertime. Now I know winter is where you truly experience Alaska, Fairbanks, like you no other time.
Absolutely. I was just going to add that I think the Bill and the entire Explore Fairbanks team is the epitome of the Golden Heart hospitality of Fairbanks, something that they're known for. And, your whole team just does a great job in showing that, Bill.
Well, I appreciate that, and for us, I can't imagine doing it any other way. For those that are maybe listening to the podcast here and have never been on a FAM in Alaska, just expect that. Expect that we are going to welcome you like family, and we're going to make the most of your time because we know you've come a long way to be here. And it's just, we find it important, absolutely, to give you that personal touch. And that part of it is a control issue with me. I can't imagine turning you over to someone that I don't know and have no idea what they're going to talk to you about. And it's just helpful that you hear our message direct from us, because we do live here and we love where we live and we love selling what we sell. So, but I do appreciate the comments, and I wish maybe more destinations would do it that way. It gives you like you say, Jay, it gives you that immersive experience as well. I think it's also good to point out too, Tanya, that you and your team were integral in making this come together and work, especially during the event itself. Yes, we were able to mobilize our team on the pre and post FAMs, but the event itself needed the support from you and Tay and
Leah.
And so that we were able to step back at that point and just enjoy the event and be a part of the event with the one-on-one meetings and the presentations, and not have to worry about the organization and the execution of the event itself. So thanks to ATIA, and again, if anyone is thinking of doing one of these themselves, I would encourage you to resources that are there and available to you. It's really the only way to do it, and I can't imagine having to try to pull this off alone.
Absolutely. So it looks like Kelley's internet went out.
Oh boy.
But I know I've got some of the questions here. I think you guys have some of the questions as well.
Yeah. So
I'm ready.
What I know for you, Jay, what you've experienced a couple of the other events like the European Travel Agent Forum and the Las Vegas Travel Agent Forum. What made the Amazing Alaska Experience different? There she is.
The Alaska experience made difference. Of course, the weather made a difference. I've never been this cold weather before anywhere. I've been to skiing, but not this bad. It's not bad. It's good. I enjoyed it. But I would say this Alaska experience, especially with the Explore Fairbanks, it was a much different. It's different on a much deeper level. This wasn't just an event, like I mentioned to you earlier. It was an immersive, from one-on-one meetings with passionate local suppliers to actually experiencing the destination in winter. Everything felt very intentional and personal. That's the part I love the most, because from Bill driving us around again, and now a lot of people from the tourism board was with us, taking us to dinner, lunch. So you just didn't show us Alaska. You helped us feel Alaska. And that emotional connection is what makes us a better advisor for our clients, so we can bring this experience, this immersive, intentional experience, and then can share with our clients, share with our agents that they say, what, wintertime? No way. And then I show them my pictures, I show them my videos of dog sledding, that I had dreamed of doing. Is only place you can do it, of course, maybe Alaska, which is still, they use it for transportation purpose. So that was like unbelievable. I've been over 30 years, many different events, even with European Travel Agent Forum, with TravelSMG and few other, but the Fairbanks experience in Alaska was just completely unbelievable. Travel Show Marketing did a great job, but of course they relied on you, like Bill, Tanya, and your team. And your team did an amazing job. I mean, so many times I'm away from home, 2 weeks or 10 days, I'm ready to come home. But Alaska, I was not ready to come home. I was keep enjoying, even to the last minute in Anchorage. When I had few hours, I went out and I enjoyed the Anchorage area. So this event is much more deeper, much more immersive, much more personalized than other event I have been to.
I think that's
and
great.
Thanks to you also, Pat.
Right? They're so amazing. Thanks to Bill and Tanya for making that all happen, right?
That's right.
Yeah, absolutely. But I would think too, like as far as the cold goes, there was a different type of cold between Anchorage last year and Fairbanks this year. But in every single time I tell somebody that I got off the plane and it was negative 45, they're like, I would have turned right back around and got right back on and gone home. And I'm like, no, but I know this sounds silly, but we were dressed for it appropriately. We had everything that we needed. When you're doing some of these different activities, they have the stuff that you need to make sure that you're not gonna get frostbite or whatever. And I think it was somebody, I forget who it was at one point, was like, you always have to have that go bag with you in your car or be prepared of what's going to happen. You might not need water right now, but just have it with you just in case. So I think everything that I learned this year in Fairbanks and with the cold, it was still, like you said, Jay, it was so worth it, so worth experiencing it in the winter and just being able to do all those different incredible things. Last year in Anchorage definitely was not that cold. I think it was like 25 degrees, no snow on the ground. So definitely a different experience. And my favorite thing from that still is when last year, as far as Anchorage goes, when I got to do flight seeing and I got off of the plane and I was like, oh my goodness, that is 100% something I didn't know I needed in my life. And I need it so much. And it was such a perfect thing to be able to do because I had no interest in going 24 hours before that. I was like, I don't need to do that. And then I went and I was like, oh my God, I need to do this. And Jay, for you guys, I think someone told me that was like the only time your group was quiet. It was when you guys were flight seeing.
Yes,
That maybe
that's
a couple
right.
people took a nap even when doing it. And
It was a great experience.
Well, that's what I love to hear when folks are coming together, because that's the other thing I would want to add that Travel Alaska and Travel Show Marketing Group did together so well is to find the best group of people that could match together. It's always a challenge. You bring people from all over the country, or if it's an international fam tour, we have people that don't know each other. This is their first time to meet. And sometimes those first few events that we do when we begin our FAMs can be a little awkward. No one's really talking, or they're not sure what to say. And of course, by the end of the trip, they're all best friends and such. But this group, both groups, the pre and the post, came together right away, and they were chatting and talking, and I think that speaks to the quality of the selection process. For getting the group to come and finding those that really wanted to be here. There was zero people, on either during the event or the pre and post that didn't want to be here. And Jay, I think you're a good poster child for how people do. There are things that you don't know you don't know until you get here. But there are other expectations that you have, and I'm glad to hear that we met most of those expectations, including giving you a nice dose of a cold Alaska winter that maybe you haven't ever had before. But those are the takeaways that we love to hear. People have a lot of those one-time events. Oh, this is my first time for this, my first time for this. There's a lot of firsts that happen in Alaska when people visit, whether you're in the trade or not. And when we can check those boxes for you, we feel like we've succeeded. But even beyond that, to have that conversation carry forward, which I know we'll continue to do with all of the participants, that it is just a rewarding part of our jobs. Because as those of us all know in this industry, that there's a lot of sales that we don't necessarily see or hear or learn of. But I know with this group, we're going to see each other again, and we're going to keep our relationships going, and all because of this event coming together in Fairbanks.
I love that you say that about the applicants, because obviously, I have the opportunity to go ahead and vet people. And I found that this group to vet from all of the applications that we received actually was the hardest time that I had to vet people. It was not easy, but I also know that when I send people that acceptance for this and they're coming back and they're asking me questions, that I can pick up the phone and tell them straight up, like, you have to come to this event. If you don't come, you will regret it, I promise. And I'm sure that there's people that, were not able to come, that see everything that the other advisors were able to do, if they're friends with people on Facebook or whatever it is, and get that. Because that's just 100% how I feel about these amazing destination experiences in general, but especially the Alaska ones, is that it's just so amazing to be able to go and do and experience all the things. And what you said, Bill, about meeting the other advisors, to me, even if there's a lot of those people that didn't know each other before they got there, and like you said, they acted like they did. Like, I think that Facebook group ahead of time kind of helps with that too, because they kind of have seen each other a little bit, and there's a lot of joking going on with what you're going to pack and all those things too. So I think that probably helps. Plus, we had some pretty outgoing people on the trip, but that all definitely helped. And they were all willing to jump in and do anything that they were asked, which was great too. I don't think that there was anything that really got like people to be like, oh my God, I don't ever want to do that, like, type of deal. So that was nice.
To me, I want to quickly point out, people talk about luxury travel all the time. To me, being in Alaska, in Fairbanks, able to witness the Northern Light, able to dog sled in the winter just by myself and the musher, that's luxury to me. And that's the experience I have came away from Alaska on this trip, that luxury everywhere you look, things that people only can dream about, people only can think about, and we were experiencing. And that is the true luxury that I experienced in Alaska, rather than staying in a 5-star hotel, chandelier, bright, and all like super high-tech rooms. I'd rather have this. So that's how I tell my people, I ask them, I talk to so many of my clients already, and my goal right now is to share this experience, right? I know right then and there I have responsibility to share experience and inspire others to step outside of their comfort zone, like I did, and experience the world, experience the nature, experience this unbelievable, like a Northern Lights, for one thing, or going to a ice sculpture outdoor, all day long or at night. You don't get this anywhere else. And people flying all the way to Iceland or all the way to wherever, to see the Northern Light. Now, I'm going to send them to Alaska to do that, So this trip, definitely, I'm sure I'm not only speaking for myself, I'm sure I'm speaking for all the travel advisors being there. I am sure they're feeling the same way I am feeling. I cannot point one thing we did that I did not like on this trip.
I love that. I love it because I feel like it takes so much work for Tanya and Bill and Bill's team and
yes,
who's put together. And then once you're there and everything's coming together, it's like you can let that weight off your shoulders and everybody's having a great time and communicating, and there's just no like worry about anything, right? It's just like go with the flow and let's make this happen. And it was just, that part is just so great to me to see all that happen and what gets done here. And I love the travel advisor part too, right? Because Jay, you're right that you are speaking for everyone. And I think that that might be the first time or one of the times on a trip that I can say 100% you're speaking for all 29 advisors, well, 30 that were able to be there, right? Because they all did love it. They all came back. They were posting. We were in things and people are already selling stuff. Like it was just crazy to me to see all that happening. So let's just talk about one thing. So live events are a big thing in the industry, right? So for me, when I'm going to an event and going to different stuff, the last couple of years, and especially probably in the last like year, I've tried to make goals before I've gone and things like that. Are there anything like any tip wise of things that you guys try to follow? And I guess we can start with Tanya. Is there anything that you would recommend that people follow when they're heading to an event or any type of thing like that?
Yeah, I think one of the things is to prioritize well, doing your research. Some of the key approaches is to focus on quality. That we look at is quality over quantity, making sure we're meeting with the best people. We're getting the best people up to Alaska. So whether we're going to a show or inviting people up. Another one is a strong sense of story. And I feel like on our side, we've been trying to incorporate that more and more into our programs, is not just talking about Alaska, but talking about the people and what drew us here, why we love it, because I think that also speaks volumes to the destination, and it helps people remember not only your destination, but your program. There's so many presentations that everybody goes to where it's like, yep, it's another slideshow, another slideshow, another slideshow. And the stories really help things sink in and stay with people much longer, having that personal touch. The other thing, and the most important, I will say, I am not very good at this, but it's the most important thing, and that's to follow up afterwards. So that is the most important thing, I think, for any event, is follow up afterwards.
And I love that you say that for the follow-up, because that's the one thing that I've really been trying to push lately is, yes, my goals, and they're actually right here next to me for Alaska, were to take pictures while I was there and to post online, because I'm always so terrible about that. But it was also to follow up with at least 3 people when I got back as far as suppliers go, like my agent goals, not my travel show marketing group ones. Those were the things that I wanted to make sure happened. And I did. I made sure that happened. And now in a few weeks when I get back from my next vacation that I have going on real quick with my family, I'm going to make sure that I follow up with some more. And that is what the suppliers want. They're wanting to come to these events. They really want that connection. And I think that one of the mistakes I've always made is to feel like I'm annoying, right? Like to think like, oh, they don't want me to email them, but they do. That's what they want. Am I wrong, right? That's exactly what they want you to do. They want you to follow up with them. They don't want someone to be like, oh, give me something for free, but they want someone to be like, hey, I have a client that's interested in this. What would you recommend, right? Like stuff like that. And that's 100% what they want. And I think that that's what I really tried to stick in Alaska and have been trying to talk to people about since then. So I love that you put that in there. What do you think, Jay? How about for you? Is there a tip or something that before you go to an event that you make sure happens, or a goal or something that you always try to do?
Well, for me, the biggest thing that you pack when you go to an event is the open heart. When you have an open heart, open mind, you just enjoying every step of the way. And for me, on this event, I did not know what to expect. Truly, Alaska is a winter, and I had some winter clothes that I put together. I did not struggle one time. I lost a glove one time, one of the gloves, but I was able to replace it with Bill's help. We were on that ski area. But I really feel when you have an open heart and you have a learning heart, you want to absorb and you want to immerse, you're going to find a way to enjoy the event. And this event was no different than that. And I'm so grateful that I had this experience with Alaska and Fairbanks and Anchorage. But I came back as a changed person. That's the key. Changed person is what I want to happen whenever I go anywhere. Learn more, come back as a different personnel. personality. And this event, this Alaska, Bill, Tanya, and your team, Kelley at the Travel Show Marketing Group, you afforded me that. And I thank you for that.
Do you love it? I think, too, you missed something that I thought you were just going to say there. Your, trade line in my mind is live big, right?
Living big, yes.
Come
Just
on.
living big in gratitude all the time. That also set me free. I don't let no one kind of bother me or tell something to affect me if I'm doing something wrong or if I'm this or that, because it's me that matters. So living big, when you counting your blessing, then your miserable moment, you cannot go wrong. And this Alaska trip, I definitely lived big the whole time.
You did. You tried everything. I remember.
I did.
I know, I just
I
feel
did
like
not
that
miss
statement,
anything.
it's in my mind, and I say it over and over to myself.
Yes,
I think
thank you. Thank you for mentioning that. Yes. That's the secret for me to stay happy nonstop.
Yeah. Awesome. How about Bill? What do you think? Do you have something that you make sure happens before an event, or advice that you think that people should make sure that they follow?
Well, nothing original here. It's kind of what Jay has alluded to in his comments, and both all of us have mentioned the same thing, that set those clear goals before you arrive. That's a great idea, and plan on who you want to meet with and what success looks like at the end of the day. But once you're there, I think it's important to be fully present. Just bring yourself to the moment, and don't be thinking about, well, this doesn't meet my that didn't meet my expectation. This is not luxury. That's not 5-star. Whatever your expectations may be, throw those out the window and just be present. And some of the best outcomes are going to come from conversations that you probably didn't plan. And that could even include, meeting with other travel advisors that you didn't know before. You're going to learn some things from them as well. There were a handful of people that were on the tour that had been to Alaska before in the summer. And so to come in the winter was a completely different world for them. They may have some experience in Alaska overall, but once you get here in a different season, you're going to just be in another planet, whether you've been here before or not. So that's just kind of my takeaway, is just that make sure that you, when you do get here, just open your mind, like Jay said, and learn in the moment. There's lots to learn, and if you are thinking ahead or thinking behind about how something maybe didn't meet your expectations, that you're going to miss those moments in the present. And that's the way I like to treat any new experience when I'm going, traveling to another place, or even being here at home with something new, is just take it in. It may be your one and only time that you're going to experience that moment, that first time experience, and enjoy it and live life while you have a chance.
I love that.
Agree
Be
with
present.
you.
I feel like I thought
present.
that when I was there a lot. Let me be present. I don't need my phone out. I don't need to worry about that. Let me just look up and see everything around me, see those northern lights, whatever it was. Just take that all in. I love that. And also the preparing ahead of time and being prepared for it and giving people chances. I think that that's huge too, especially when it comes to the one-on-one meetings, and go in there and know people that you want to talk to, but also give everybody the chance to talk to you and explain what they have. Because, I'm sure that there's a lot of advisors that came to this event that will say that they walked into that room, didn't know who some of those suppliers were, and walked out with a new contact because they gave them that chance, right? They let them talk to them. They asked them questions. So it's always that preparing ahead of time too, as far as that goes. Prepare for those conversations, know things that you can ask when it's dead silent, and then move on from there, right? Tanya, you do them all the time. I mean, I can imagine how awkward it gets sometimes.
Yeah, they're fun sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I'm always listen, these suppliers are going one meeting after another. They might not remember exactly what they just said to you. So you have to think hey, what can I ask them in order to help them along here a little bit too, and to make sure that you have that contact going forward. And I love to, somebody had mentioned when we were in Alaska, or they had it actually with them, that book that had the card on the top and then the space on the bottom that you could write for the notebook thing. And I feel like that is such a great thing to have at events too. And for this type of thing, especially for those one-to-one meetings and with people that you're probably haven't seen before. So I think that's perfect as far as that goes.
I also want to mention about one-on-one meeting. It was amazing. Everybody was, and especially panning for gold and one-on-one setting. And I took the whole video, about almost 4 minutes video I shared. And that was unbelievable. I mean, you cannot prepare for that. You cannot pack for that. All you have to do in that situation, just have an open mind and just soak it all up. And that gold panning experience on the conference floor, one-on-one meeting, I will never forget that. That was unbelievable. So thank you. Thank you for including experience like that, not just meeting, not just, exchanging information or exchanging ideas, but also showing something like that all of the travel advisors are able to experience. That's priceless for me.
Right.
I think it's one of those great things, having a lot of people participate in the event in Alaska who don't go to trade shows regularly, don't necessarily know how one-on-one meetings work. It actually brings a fresh sense of what can happen in a one-on-one meeting, that it doesn't have to be sit down and just talk and do business. That experience, you obviously remember. It was different. And it goes beyond, I think, just that chat that you have for 10 minutes. And I think, again, having new people in, they bring a lot more to the table that we don't always think outside the box when we're doing it all the time.
Yeah.
I would agree to that, and not just new people, but people that, like you said, Tanya, can't make it out of state. So why not have something here that would be? I can imagine the challenge. So Jay, don't expect me to be bringing a gold panning experience to any future outside meetings, but they're here and they can bring their equipment, right to the table. Is what this show brought to us and to our partners. Not only showing them what we do in the outside world, which is important to think for them to understand without having to invest something big to join us in one of our events, which we encourage, but it's, like I say, it's always difficult to do. But just the fact that we were able to reach, quite a handful of partners that otherwise we'll never get that chance to meet with travel advisors, have you guys come here. Most of the time we do, one or the other. You're here, for an event and it's the event, or you're here for a fam tour and it's the fam tour. But to combine it all into one, it really did become an immersive experience, and it allowed us to make these connections that we would have never been able to do without it.
Absolutely. 100%. I think too, before, Tanya, you said earlier when we were talking about like having the people from Alaska having those experiences, and we had so much of that. You said that you bring it into your videos and things like that and your training and everything, which that's always what reminds me of Alaska training. Whenever I've seen you guys come locally to me or out in Vegas, whatever it is, but also having that there, like Bill made that happen at several times during the event, that we were able to just see things that are local and mean so much to that area between the dancing and all of that stuff. So that was just such an amazing experience. And to be able to talk to those people after too, right? Like I had a great conversation with one of the kids that was up there about what she wanted to do with her future. And that was just really cool to sit there and have that conversation with someone. So I definitely think that in general, the whole entire experience from beginning to end was awesome.
Yeah, I agree with you. Everything. Unbelievable.
All right. So one more question. And then in one word, what does the experience do for an advisor's business? And Bill, we'll start with you.
Oh, well, I would say what I've previously said, connection, the one word. Yeah. Just making those connections. Like you said, just something you probably didn't even plan. Like I'm sure you didn't write on your list. So I would like to meet a young lady who's in a dance organization.
It's not a goal.
If you come with that attitude that you're going to be connecting with people, whether it's for business or for personal reasons or just your own, curiosity, connection is what this event to me was all about.
Awesome. Tanya, how about you?
Confidence. I would say being in Alaska, in the destination, gives the advisors the confidence to sell it more authentically, effectively, and hopefully more often. Yeah.
Yes. Jay, how about you? What's one word about the experience?
It's just creating relationship. The people that I have met, besides the things that we have done, like Corey, I remember one time I was talking to him about his hotel on his booth, and the next conversation turned into a Northern Light. And then he gave me, hey, here's my card. Call me tonight. You want to come? I'll get you set up. It's just a matter of 2 minutes of conversation. And then we met him, we saw him afterwards. So relationship is what I love about this industry, period. And in Alaska, you all took the relationship aspect to another level. And, being part of it with all the time, like Bill said, he's control freak or whatnot, that he likes to do things his way. And I'm sure his way is the best way. He wanted to hear from him, want us to hear from him. He took us to lunches, dinner, be there, during his personal time. That's relationship. That's how you create relationship. It takes to receive. And you guys gave us so much relationship. Like I said, I want to be like Bill right now. When people come in town, I'm going to pick them up from the airport. I'm going to show them around the city. This what this whole Fairbanks experience offered me. So, yes, what I come back from here is the relationship drives. And I have a responsibility to come back and share this amazing experience. Not only the things that we have done, but the experience and relationship we have felt with my agents, with my clients, so they can also experience the same thing when they go to Alaska. So I would say the loving relationship is what I came back from Alaska. You guys are the best.
Awesome. I love that. I think that I was just thinking while you guys were talking, because I was like, oh my God, I didn't come up with anything beforehand to say. But I think that as far as I'm concerned, this experience for an advisor's business means increase in revenue. They are going to sell it. And I know that's more than one word, but they're going to sell Alaska. And you can see that by everything that they did. And I'm excited to see when those surveys and things like that come out, what we see that these advisors did, to be honest, because those surveys are always my favorite to read. But these Alaska ones have 100% been my favorite. And we had 100% of the advisors complete that survey. That is totally incredible. And it might be because I was a little annoying, but hey, it worked and I got them to do it. So I'll say that was good.
Nice. Well, when these things come together, I think that you're absolutely right, Kelley, that at the end of the day, yes, it is about increasing revenue. But I think what makes it so strong and gives them the ability to do that is that they believe Alaska now. They believe in it. And that's what we want people to go away with, is something that, hits them in the heart. And if your client, just another takeaway, if you want Northern Lights, like Jay said, you got to come to Fairbanks.
Absolutely.
Totally agree with that. I think increase in revenue after everything else you said, right? Like that wouldn't be my first thought, but it's just like the gratitude and things like that too. But I definitely see that happening for these guys to start selling Alaska, and making it worth it for all of the people that took part in it. So I think it's good.
I just want to share a quick conversation I had with my clients the other day. We mostly sell Mexico and Caribbean because we were in Houston. Then we sell winter vacations to Colorado and, Albuquerque, Utah and stuff like that. And then he asked me, hey, Jay, now that what do you think I should go this winter? I want to go for winter vacation. I said, well, go to Alaska. You sure? Is Alaska open in winter? I said, of course. I just came back from there. That's where you should go. A lot of time also we have calls that, hey, I don't have passport, or we want to go within the United States. And guess what people usually think about? Hawaii, Puerto Rico, as far away from the mainland. Now guess what I'm going to say? Alaska before Hawaii, because we did not know, a lot of the travel advisors did not know Alaska is year round. Two different experience. Winter time you get to do dog sled or snow machine or ice sculptures, things like that. You cannot do it in summertime. Yeah, summer may be more convenient because you have to pack less clothes, but you don't really get to immerse in Alaska what the last frontiers are all about unless you go on in wintertime. So now I'm able to share those experience, and my clients say, Jay, you make some sense. I'm going to think about going to Alaska in winter now that I've never thought of doing. So that's the responsibility we have as a travel advisors coming back from an Alaska event. That's, I hope, all the advisors think about is Alaska should be your must go.
Awesome. I love it.
Kelley, if I can just add something from a destination side,
Okay.
working with you guys, this has been something I've wanted to do for a long time, is getting agents to Alaska. And when Travel Show Marketing Group brought it to us, I didn't even have to hesitate. It was an absolute trying to do it all, I think, as yourself and as a destination would just be so difficult. You guys have all of the connections, and you already, I think, you go across many consortiums. It's not just one consortium based organization. You already, I think, vet at a very high performance rate for everybody who's included in shows that you work with. And I can't say enough about what Travel Show Marketing Group has done for us to be able to bring this event to Alaska. And I just have to thank you guys, the whole team over there, for what you've done for us.
I love it because we love working with you guys so much, and it's just
Kelley
so great.
Kelley did an amazing job.
Absolutely.
Well, I can't wait to see where it gets to go next year. Where are we going to be going? Hopefully I'll be included. Make sure you put that in the notes, right? Like
we'll put it in the contract.
Yes. And I will do all the podcasts. I will do all the videos. I'll do everything. Just don't forget me. Alaska is forever sketched in my heart.
Yeah, I love that, Jay. That's great.
Yes.
Well, does anybody have anything else that they want to say? Anything else they want to add in, or are we good? I think this is wonderful. I really appreciate you guys. And thanks everyone for joining us on this podcast today. And thank you, Tanya, Bill, and Jay. I really do appreciate everything that you guys did today. And if anybody wants to learn anything about our suite of events, you can go to TravelSMG.com, and we will also include the links for Tanya and Bill's websites also. But thanks, guys. We appreciate you guys for joining today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank
It's
you.
been an honor.
Absolutely.
Really appreciate it.